More than.
Yes, Jake. Underneath, you're going to write the expanded form and the word form. So write it as a math problem, and then write it in words. Okay. You wouldn't have to say 0 plus. You could just say 0.2 plus. You wouldn't have to say 0 plus.
Does that have to be even?
No. Just so you know what it represents. But make sure you kind of set it up like mine.
If you want to write it, do 0 point for 2, what I do 0.2, and then 0 plus 0 point.
Add that. That's fine. Okay. But am I just saying I have 27 holes? I have 2,700. So how do I represent 2,700? What do I have in my tenths place? I don't just have a 2. I need to show that it's a decimal. How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? How would you represent? How am I going to know that's a decimal? I can try adding decimals. So that, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to say that I have 2 tenths. And then I'm trying to say, I'm going to add 7 hundredths. Okay, so how would you represent, okay, just think of it, how do I represent 2 tenths first? Because I'm not talking about whole numbers, I'm talking about decimals. Nope, I just want 2 tenths, it's not 20 hundredths. So I just have a 2 in my tenths place. How's your eye object? To represent 2 tenths, I'm going to have my decimal so that you know it's part of a whole. And then I'm going to have my 2. So that's my tenths place. Right? And then I have a 7 in the hundredths place. So that's why it's 27 hundredths. But how am I going to write it out to be expanded form? First, I'm going to look at my tenths place. Okay, I don't have any holes. No holes. Okay. So I have 0.2. That represents what? What does this represent? What place is this in? Tenths place. So I have 0.2. 2 tenths plus, how am I going to represent 700?
And then also,
A 7, but where's my 7 going to go? That's my tenths place, right? The left of the decimal 1 is tenths place. To the left of the decimal 2 is hundredths place. So I'm just going to put a 0 here, and I'm going to put a 7 here to show hundredths. Okay? That's expanded. Does that make sense? But your writing on your paper is just 27. So you're trying to say I have 2,700. I feel like that's not making sense. Okay. So, and I'm trying to write 57 in expanded form. So I have a 5 in my tenths place and a 7 in my hundredths place. So I'm going to write 5 tenths. But then I need to add 7 hundredths. How do I just write 7 hundredths? I'm going to have a decimal point. How many tenths do I have in 7 hundredths? I'm not talking about the 57. I'm just talking about 700. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I have 0 tenths in 700s, right? So I just want to represent 700s. And then I'm going to put a 7 in my hundreds spot. That's how I did expanded form. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's try another one. Okay, so let's say, you can close it up to you. Okay, so I'm going to have a decimal 43 hundredths. In expanded form, how am I going to write this? In expanded form. I want to write it as a math problem. Maggie. To represent
The 4/10
4 tenths, good. Plus
point 0
0.03.
which is 100.
Good. 3 hundredths. Good. So now I have 43 hundredths. I just represented it in expanded form. How do I write it in word form? Andrea, do you know?
Yeah. 4. No.
Yeah.
400.
Remember, you just say it like regular. Just say it like the number regular, like in our poem. When we just say the number like regular. How do you just say that? Don't worry about this. 43, exactly. 43. You just say it like regular. 43. Now, I have to say my place value. Hundredths. Let's try one more. Let's try. Okay, let's try this one. Okay. How am I going to represent this in expanded form? Tyler, what do I do first? 7. What does that represent? Plugs. Good. What do I do now, Michelle? Add a plus sign because I'm writing it as a math problem. And then Joel, what do I do?
Then 0. And then 2.
So I have something first?
A decimal.
A decimal. So you said I do a 0 and a 2, and what does this represent? Do I have 100s or do not? Do I have 100s in this one? Well, remember, when I'm doing my decimals, I have tenths over here, I have hundreds over here, thousands over here. So the 2 is in the hundreds place.
So there's 0.
There's 0 tenths, and how many hundreds? 200.
Can you just read?
Yes.
So 72.
So I'm going to write 72 because I just read it like normal. But then what's the most important part? The place value is the most important part. Hundreds. Alright, you all can go back to your seats. Thank you.